All right, hello everybody, and welcome. How you doing? Phil here. And what is happening, ladies and gents? Hopefully today's a good one for you. It is Tuesday, September 27th, 2016. In Washington today, it's actually cooling down a little bit. We had a hot day yesterday. For the fall, it was relatively hot. It was almost 80 degrees with the sun out. Today it's cooling down a little bit. The sun's still out, but we're supposed to get a little bit of clouds later in the day that'll cool things down. I hope, because if not, my office is going to heat up again with the sun beating on it. But the good news is, it is the fall. It's officially, we are in the fall now, the autumn. And things will start to cool down even more in the next few weeks. Which is a good thing. It actually makes it more bearable for me to be in my office gaming for extended periods of time. Which is also a good thing because guess what? All the new stuff's about to hit, right? We are right on the precipice at this point. We're about a week away from a marathon of new releases that will be encompassing the months of October, November, and December. So, I am certainly excited for the upcoming months. I hope that you are too. And I'd like to say welcome and thank you for being here today as we finish up, basically kind of rounding up this stuff that's the odds and ends from the more downtime of gaming, and we're about to pick up big time with the new releases of the hardcore gaming season. So what are we up to today? Well, on stream today, we are going to be doing Hitman. That's right, ladies and gents, Hitman Episode 5. And this one, from what I've heard, is very different from the previous, excuse me. Very different from the previous episode. Sorry, as you can hear. Yes, my sinuses are acting up yet again today. Yeah, Hitman Episode 5 takes place in Colorado, USA. It's the first episode of this game this year, this episodic release, that's taken place in the United States. This is supposed to be, from what I'm to understand, alright, the hardest of all of the episodes up to this point. Okay. Now, what I mean by that is that apparently there are 4 targets. The most we've had so far up to this stage has been only 2 targets. So we're talking about completely doubling down, on the amount of targets that we have. In addition, apparently this entire episode takes place on a military base, meaning that everyone's on high alert. It's going to be harder to sneak around. It's going to be harder to fool people into not catching me as I'm in disguise and such. And just FYI, a few people kind of messaged me overnight and said that they had tried it overnight. Because, this actually released around midnight last night. I don't know exactly the time frame, but it did it overnight. It released on PSN. So a lot of people have already played it. Some people were saying, typically it would take them about an hour to an hour and a half to beat each episode of Hitman up to now, but this one takes them about double that, about 3 hours. So, being that typically with the previous episodes of Hitman, what I would do is I would do a cold run through it, and then I would do a secondary run where I would try to find the optional objectives and optional ways to do it. I don't think we're going to have time to do it this way. This time, I think we're just going to have to try to do one clean run, alright? So, FYI, just so everyone knows, this should probably take the entirety of the stream. If it ends a little early, that's okay. If it doesn't finish on stream today, that's also okay. I'll try to finish it up, as quickly as I can. Maybe I'll even play it more later tonight. But the goal is to complete this episode of Hitman today, alright? So this will be fun. I've liked all the episodes of Hitman up to now, and I'm definitely looking forward to this one, thinking it's going to be a pretty solid and fun experience. Tonight, well, it's going to depend on, how this goes with Hitman. Tonight, if I don't finish this episode of Hitman on stream, I'll probably finish it up tonight, and that'll be the entirety of today, encompassing what I'm doing today. If I do finish this on stream today, then tonight I'll probably be playing more Banjo-Kazooie. For those who aren't aware, I did play more Banjo last night. And it was offline for about another hour and a half. I actually beat an entire new stage called the Clank's Cavern or something like that. And then I went around and I actually found some secrets in the game. I found the first cheat code, even though technically it's not a cheat code. It's like in-game, it tells you how to do this. if you go to a secret area. So I did that, and then I unlocked a bunch of new stuff, and I kind of have a new direction. The next time that I play Banjo, I've unlocked 2 new stages to check out. So I may be doing more of that later tonight, depending on how far I get here in Hitman. Now, let's talk about the rest of this week, because a lot of people are wondering what's going to happen with the rest of this week. I had a poll up earlier this week where I wanted to gauge interest from my viewers, and I had 4 options in the poll. The poll was as follows. Dead Rising Remastered, a second run in New Game Plus mode, where I would retain all of the experience and the abilities for my first run through the game, and do a second run by which stream watchers could help me and tell me, Phil, you missed this psychopath, you missed this fun thing over here, you should go check these out. Because a lot of people were disappointed that I missed out on a few boss fights and things in my first run through the game. I thought that would be fun, and a lot of people wanted me to do that from the get-go. They were actually surprised that I played through the game to the end on my first go, rather than doing New Game Plus, which a lot of people apparently do. So that was option number 1. Option number 2 was a game called Virginia. It was supposed to be a narrative-based game. A lot of people are comparing Virginia to Firewatch from earlier this year. If you remember, Firewatch was a very interesting and fun game, which I played over the course of a day. It took like 5 hours to beat. And I definitely enjoyed it. I thought it was a great game. But a lot of people didn't like that game because they said, it's not enough gameplay, nothing really happens, yada, yada, yada. I really enjoyed Firewatch. In fact, I'm actually going to say it's probably, in my opinion, one of the best stories of the year. Maybe not one of the best games for the gameplay, but narrative-wise, one of the best stories of 2016 by far. And so, thinking about that one in relation to a new game, right? I put this game, Virginia, on the poll. I also put Forza Horizon 3, which released today. It actually is a new release for today. I believe it's an Xbox exclusive, so it's like Xbox One PC. I think Forza's always been an Microsoft series, right? So, in regards to that, that actually, the reason I put that on there is a couple reasons. Number 1, it's a new release for the week. Number 2, because I haven't played a racing game in a long time. Like, a long freaking time. And, when you stay away from a genre for a certain amount of time and you go back, it actually feels kind of refreshing. Which is actually why I've completely stayed away from sports games this year. I figured in previous years I played things like NBA and stuff like that, almost, and I said this year I'm going to completely stay away from it, and then maybe next year, 2017, maybe I can come back and play games like MLB and stuff like that I completely skipped out on this year, and it'll be more refreshing because there's been a year of dead time in between where I didn't do it, rather than doing it every year and it just gets boring and played out, right? So, I put Forza on the list, thinking, let's see what happens if I do a racing game. And then last but not least, I put on Scottie Pippen's Slam City. As we all know, that is actually the best basketball game ever made. The NBA series has never been able to live up to the quality standards of Slam City. And I wanted to see if people wanted to see it. Now, of course, that's the obvious troll vote, because I've played that game twice before. So, in that regard, it was a silly one. And it's funny, because it actually ended up being 3rd place in the poll. So right now, I checked it. And the poll basically ended with Forza in the lead. I think it got something like 34 or 35% of the vote. Dead Rising came in just under with 30% of the vote or something like that. And then, like I said, the troll vote was Slam City. And then Virginia surprisingly came in way behind. Yeah, way behind. So I guess, well, of all the things this week, people didn't want to see me play this Virginia game. Okay? So I got 2 options. Either Forza or Dead Rising. And ladies and gentlemen, right now, for the 262 and growing of you live on stream right now, I'm here to make my decision. Live! I'm going to announce what I'm playing this week. Now, the best way to answer the best way to answer this question of what I'm playing is to address a meme. That's right, an internet meme. As you know, I am a meme master. And everything that I do is based around internet memes. I'm constantly referencing them. It's like everything I do has to do with memes. I tweet them constantly. Yeah, right. I'm probably the anti-meme. I almost never reference anything like that. But there's a meme on the internet. And the way that the meme goes is as follows. Get a man who can do both, right? So, here's the deal. And here's the truth of the matter. Right now, between now and October 7th, which is a Friday of next week, we're talking about a week and a half, I really don't have much to do. I'm going to continue on with Banjo-Kazooie, all right? And I'm going to be playing that as like the secondary session every night. And I figure I could probably, within the week and a half, if I play it at least every other day for an hour or 2 hours, I'm probably going to wrap it up, all right? And outside of that, we've got Ask the King this Thursday. And really, there's not much else going on. The only other thing is next week, there's a couple Atari flashback collections releasing. And these flashback collections are games from my youth. I grew up with the Atari system, and I'm thinking for one stream, maybe I'll check out the Atari flashback collections and just share some of these classic Atari games with you guys. It'll be a more personal stream to me, because these are games that I grew up playing with my dad on my Atari 7800 home console, okay? But outside of that, I don't have a lot to do. So what I'm thinking is, what I'll do is this week, starting tomorrow, I'm probably going to be playing Forza Horizon 3. Alright? And I'll probably do that as my gameplay stream on Wednesday and on Friday. Okay, so because of that, that's at least 6 hours there. And I'm hoping between 6 hours of gameplay of Forza, I can decide if it's a game that I actually like and I want to continue it, or if it's just something that I try a couple times and I suck at it and I don't care about it. Alright? But in addition, then I'll also start Dead Rising a second run. And so I can balance the next week to week and a half between, you know, either doing Forza or Dead Rising as my main stream and having Banjo at night. And that's going to continue, you know, for the next week until Mafia 3 hits on October 7th. Okay? So how does that sound? It's the best of both worlds. The best of both worlds. You'll get Forza, you'll get Dead Rising, you'll get the continuation of Banjo-Kazooie, Ask the King this Thursday, alright? Maybe a stream of Atari stuff next week, and that'll get us all hyped up for the impending release of Mafia 3 on the 7th of October, and then after that, new release after new release after new release. What do you think? How does that sound? I'm curious to hear everyone's feedback here in the stream chat. I'm looking live to see what people say. Sounds great. Dead Rising returning, hell yeah. Which one of you own up to it? Who voted for Slam City? Why on earth would anyone want a second playthrough of Dead Rising when he already played the game? Yes, Forza. People are very torn about this. Some people are excited. Some people are upset. Some people have no idea how to feel about this. A few people have jumped out of their windows into the streets and exploded into a gory mess. Some people are celebrating to pop in the bubbly. They're pouring all over their bodies right now, completely saturated in liquor. So, mixed reaction. Alright, well, I kind of get that. Some people are probably happy that one game's being played or not happy that another game's being played. You know what? Delta Force just had the audacity to say to play Street Fighter V again. How dare you? I should slap you through the internet. I'm joking, obviously. I'm pretty much done with Street Fighter V. I see absolutely no reason to ever play the game again until they patch it supposedly after the Capcom Cup ends. Because everything's determined by the Capcom Cup, of course. And, yeah. I'm not playing Street Fighter V anytime soon. I'm so done with that game at this point. Okay? Alright, so that's pretty much it. I hope that you enjoyed the announcement. Hopefully for you, it is satisfactory. Forza starting tomorrow. And then probably this weekend, possibly, depending on how things go at Forza tomorrow and Friday. Another run through Dead Rising heading through next week. And the continuation of Banjo. And maybe some Atari games next week. Okay? There you go. Alright. Since we're already running behind, I'm not going to do an extended plugs segment today. I'm going to do an abridged one. The most important things, really, number one, and this is probably the foremost, you may not realize this, there's only 3 days left in September, everybody. Only 3 days left this month, which means there's only 3 days left to pledge to my Patreon, and we are still about $75 under the goal. Now, I'm not trying to be an alarmist. I'm not trying to be, someone who's, bringing this up constantly to nag you, but with only 3 days to go, the fact that we've been under $100 under the goal the entire month, and now with only 3 days left in the month, we're $75 under, it's looking kind of iffy if we're going to make this goal. I'm not sure what's going on, if people just aren't tuning in and listening to the streams and, don't really know the situation. Tonight, I'm actually going to post up on Twitter that this is happening, because I get the feeling, because I haven't mentioned it on Twitter in a while, that some people just aren't paying any attention. But we need some people to step up and pledge. If you want me to do a Halloween horror marathon, you need to step up and pledge. $75 left to hit this goal. And, I've already been, out scouting for Halloween costumes and such. And I've already got a couple great ideas. And there's like one more Halloween store that in the area that I want to check out before I make my final decision. But the bottom line is I'm not getting anything if we don't hit the goal this month. We have to hit the goal. Alright? So please, consider pledging if you haven't. Only 3 days left. It has to be by the end of the day, midnight Pacific time on September 30th, which would be what? Let's see. Wednesday, Friday. Friday night has to be in your pledges. If you pledge $5 or more, okay, you will be able to nominate and vote on the horror games that I'm playing during this marathon-style stream on Halloween. That's cool. That's a lot of power being put into the hands of people who pledge, you know what I mean? And it's pretty cool, because last year, we had one game that was selected. This year, it's going to be 3 or 4. It's going to be a variety of games that I'm playing if we hit this goal. So please consider pledging if you haven't. We're at the end of the month here. Keep in mind, it's not just about the Halloween marathon. It's about allowing me to continue to do this as a business, right? To keep giving you live daily streams, on-demand videos, edited videos, vlogs. People love the vlog that I put out a few days ago about Street Fighter V. I'm actually getting messaged by people in the fighting game community I haven't heard from in years. And they're saying, thank you for speaking up about Street Fighter V and being real about it, because so many people in this community that you're not a part of anymore are just kind of being fucking completely dishonest and assholes about it to make money. And it's refreshing to hear someone speak up and be honest. That's what you're supporting when you pledge to my Patreon. It'll allow me to keep doing this for a living and not have to, go do something else or try to find another means to make ends meet. So please consider pledging if you haven't. Again, 3 days left. Keep in mind, you'll also get personal perks and stuff as well. It's not just about the monthly goals being hit or anything like that. It's also about getting your own personal perks, okay? And then, of course, my girlfriend Leanna has her own business called The Black Current, where she sells handmade glycerin soaps and wax tart melts. You can see the link to her shop right there on your screen. She's currently, focusing in on a more autumn-style line of products, including a few pumpkin scents, apple cinnamon, Alpine Frost, which she just added to the store a couple weeks ago, is almost sold out already. So just to give you some perspective on some of the great products she puts up there. Of course, there's also my personal favorite, Kentish Rain, is one of my favorite scents. It kind of smells almost like, not Irish Spring. There was something else that someone had. Oh, Zest. That's what it smells like. Zest. The soap, which I love the scent of. Only this is much better for you than most of the soaps that you would buy in the stores, because it's glycerin based. It's not one of these beauty bars or detergent bars that leave your skin either dry or oily. This is very healthy for you. And, in addition to that, now that it's autumn, you might want to consider buying some wax tarts that you can melt and make your place smell good. A lot of people get scented candles and the like, but those are an open flame. There's a fire hazard, and in addition, you also have to have a lighter present and all that. The wax tarts are not any kind of a risk. It's just melted wax, and you get a cheap wax melter, and you get going there for $10. You can have your house smelling great. So check it out, etsy.com/shop/The Black Current, and don't take my word for it. I strongly recommend you check out the website yourself to see some of the ridiculous amounts of positive feedback that the products have received since Leanna opened her shop in early 2015. You know, tons of customers, you know, worldwide. She doesn't just ship domestically, she does ship to a lot of international places as well. All the information is right there available on the site for you. Please give it a look. All right. That's it, everyone. Thank you for being patient. It is now time to begin with... What?
Didn't work.
Well, didn't think it would.
Pressed.
Alright. It is now time to begin with the Hitman stream. Thank you for being patient and, gameplay time, right? Hopefully I can wrap this up in 3 hours. Being that it's going to be such a long one, I guess we'll find out, right? Okay, here we go.